Hi, everyone. Welcome to our regular Thursday live. I'm Dr. Judy. I'm a chiropractor by trade. I found my soul family back in August of 2018, and now we are being called to serve humanity and Gaia. And I'm going to have my team member introduce themselves, starting with you.
Hi, my name is Young. I'm a software developer by trade, and I do channeling. And this is our team, and we're on a journey to empower people and also to clear up Gaia. And I'll pass it over to Scott.
Well, my name's Scott Moore, and I often spend my time rubbing people, trying not to rub them the wrong way. But I'm here on the Big Island with my sister Melody, and everybody else has left us here. But we are here sending our aloha love after being part of the workshop that we just had with my soulmates who I met up at the East Eddy Ranch not that long ago. Man, a lot has been happening a little bit.
Yes.
So,
it's moving fast.
That's us and our Hawaiian connection. And Vivian, if you can.
Hi, I'm Vivian. I'm one of the RadiateUp team members. And right now I'm a stay-at-home mom and taking care of the kids. And while at the same time working on my spiritual path. So there it is. I'll pass it on to John.
Hi, my name is John. I am a clairvoyant sensitive, and I do a lot of energy work with stones. I'm also a trained herbalist, and I do a lot of energy work with dragons as well. And I also teach classes. And that's me.
Yes, so today we want to share with you all the magic that was happening on the Big Island over the weekend where we hosted the Dragon Workshop. And John and the team have so much to share. So I would like to say, let's start with John with all the third eye in-depth information of the types of dragon that showed up and the description of it. It was amazing to have John there to really describe the types and the shapes and the colors. John?
Okay. Well, when I landed, the first thing that I was told by one of the dragons that I work with was that there was over 1 million dragons there. And there was at least 300 elders. And those are dragons that are ancient, that are from other worlds, and have lived on multiple worlds and have chosen to stay here energetically. Excuse me. When we got to the house where we were staying, there was a number of young dragons running around. But when we went to look at rooms to see who was going to get what, there's a little room behind the house. And when I looked inside, there were these 6 little hummingbird-sized dragons. In fact, they looked like hummingbirds. And they had told me that that was my room, which I thought was quite entertaining. But basically, we all picked picked the spaces that we wanted right off the bat. It's like there was actually no real question about what's what. And the dragons kind of guided us, I believe, to those spots. The little hummingbirds were really adorable because they were like 6 inches tall, had a dragon head, but their body, the scales were so luminescent that they would switch colors just like a hummingbird. Their wings were transparent, but in a crystalline fashion. So they were throwing little rainbows as they were beating their wings. They're just gorgeous. And they were all different colors. Another dragon that was there that I have never seen before is a 20-headed dragon.
Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah. and he was really throwing a lot of energy earthwise, and he actually had strengthened our circles when we were doing blessings on the property. When we started the workshop, we had 4 of the elders come down, one of which I have worked with since I was real young. He is a giant platinum dragon. We call him the old man. His name is almost impossible to say in English or with human vocal cords. So that's why we just call him the old man. And there were 2 other dragons that had shown up, but the one that really stood out was the Pyrite dragon. And she was actually the oldest of all the dragons that was there. And she looked like someone had taken a large pyrite cluster. And if you don't know what pyrite is, it's fool's gold. And it usually comes in these like square cubes or geometric shaped sort of things. And it looked like someone had taken and shaped a dragon out of them. And she was really insightful with information. In fact, she even gave me more information when I got back. So those are a few of the dragons that were there. But there are others. There are so many others. Lots of babies. There were lots of babies around us. I think there's about 1,000 babies. So unfortunately, most of the information that we got in trance, I don't remember very well, but we do have a video that we took of it, and hopefully we'll have that up for people to see.
Yes, and the even just through this whole workshop, the whole process is being guided, and both you and Jung immediately connected with Pele once you landed.
Yeah, Pele actually greeted me before I even stepped out of the plane, which I thought was really interesting. I hadn't even got my feet on the ground yet. And she was very excited for us to be there. And I think she set up some of the lessons that we had happen to us, including a few for Yoon. But yeah, it was really eye-opening. Being someone who works mostly with water and air, to actually have a earth-based entity communicating as much as she did with me was wonderful.
So how would you share with those who looking forward in the future of taking a dragon workshop with the experiences that you gone through with this workshop? How would you describe the experiences?
Well, whenever you're working with dragon energy, it is always a life lesson experience. It's not like any other type of meditation or any other type of spiritual link, because these creatures do exist physically on other planes of existence, but here they are mostly all energy. There are some of them that can actually affect small things in our plane, but for the most, they're just energy. And their energy is really light, so you have to be sensitive enough to feel it. But once you do feel it and you have the ability to call it in, it's like breathing in pure oxygen. You get really lightheaded. You feel like you're no longer touching the ground. And in some cases, people feel tingly, like they're got static electricity running through their whole body. Using that energy to heal close friends and family, or to heal Mother Earth. That is the main goal with the dragons. And so using that energy, learning how to use that energy, pull it in and utilize it to help others or Mother Earth is phenomenal. And they will communicate messages to you on what your life path is or where you should be heading. They are a little more straightforward in what they say. In most cases, like when I'm doing a reading, I do more of a suggestion that this is a suggested path for you. No, they're more like, this is your path. And in most cases, they are extremely accurate. Usually when you come in contact with dragon energy, it does open doors in you and shows you what has been hidden in you for a very long time. So they prep you for what your next steps are.
Yeah, we definitely see that at this workshop, and I like to get Melody's take on that, because I know that right after the dragon activations, that inspiration we saw in Melody. So Melody, would you mind sharing with us your experience?
No, I'd like to. It was the most energetic experience. That it was just like John described. It was like I had electricity going through me, and I experienced that with working with crystals, but I've never. That is the strongest I've ever experienced that, and it was joyous. There's something that is very lighthearted and happy about being in that energy. And I think it is very direct. My channeling that I got from John was very true. I felt it in my heart. And my daughter participated with us, Nico, and I think, I can't speak for her, but I do think that she felt that same thing about it, that it hits your heart and it feels true. And it's also about love. It opens, it opened me up anyway. I had recently experienced a lot of grief and sorrow and just negativity in my life, and I was just coming out of that for a few reasons. I was coming out of that, and this workshop just propelled me into a joyous place. Not that it's steady joyous, it's a little bit like that, but that's just life, you know. And I loved it. I just loved it. I love being with all you guys, and I'm very grateful that my granddaughter and daughter could be there too. So it was amazing.
Your granddaughter is a sapphire child, and I told you that. And I have only met 3 in my whole life. And your daughter, and then just before I came there, that Friday before, I met another one. So it's phenomenal that the sapphire children are actually showing up.
Yeah.
So that tells me that there's a lot of stuff that's changing, and we've got a lot of power that's coming into this world.
That's good.
So, John, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I have a question for you on the subject of sapphire.
Okay.
I was wondering if there's sapphire dragons.
Oh, yes.
Oh, great.
There's dragons of every gem tone. Ruby, emerald, amethyst, opal, quartz, yeah, every stone. And they stand out because they just glow, and in some cases they throw prisms everywhere they go.
Oh.
And that's another way that you know that you have a dragon near you, is that if the light just looks a little brighter than it should, or you see rainbows and there shouldn't be any there because there's no real light for it, it's probably a dragon.
Mm.
Okay, so yes. Well, thank you so much, Melody, for that insight, because it's really, truly, we do see the glow in you right after the workshop, and your, we haven't shared this with John. I don't think John gets to see it, but the artwork that you, I mean, right after the workshop, you just went into it, and oh my gosh, the amazing artwork that you were able to put on paper within a day after the workshop. And I'm sure you have more.
Yeah. It's got, both of us have been doing quite a bit.
Yeah, and we're thinking of painting a sapphire dragon with Ava riding.
That's right.
You know, Yun was asking if you would paint a dragon for our group.
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
As our group logos. So for our, yeah. So I could see, and I was telling Scott, I could see you working together, finishing this dragon book within less than 2 months at the rate you guys are going.
Yeah, getting lots of inspiration.
We are.
And a lot of it's just coming from things like this.
The dragon.
The dragon jaw.
This little stone, as I meditate with
Hey,
it,
Scott.
it's like, oh, I'm getting ideas for the portraits.
Scott?
That's what I was just sketching.
Cool. Hey, Scott?
Yes.
I had a flash when you were talking about, when you asked the question about the sapphire dragon and drawing it.
Yeah.
What I saw was a sapphire child morphing into a sapphire dragon.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you know what Ava did? I was looking at her, she's jumping up and down, and we were talking about dragons, and she goes, "You need to paint me."
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, we were just talking about painting you riding a dragon. So I'm working on it. And I was starting to sketch that. I don't know if you can see too much, but it's a little crazy so far. But it's usually what I do is I usually start sketching before I do the painting.
Kind of looks like a Franzetta piece.
Yeah, and I drew it by just looking at this and then changing shape and piecing it all together.
Hi, Ava.
Good day, man.
This is the beautiful sapphire child. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, Ava.
Yeah, so you know, it's interesting, when our group was asked to do the dragon workshop, we thought it was the calling for dragon human souls to do the workshop with us. But after being there and recognizing that there's over 1 million dragons, this workshop was really for the dragons, because the energy was so high that I don't think that those who are not prepare their body would be able to handle this kind of energy, right, John? Because I know you've been working with dragons, and being there was so overwhelming for you.
Yes, because I've never dealt. The most that I have ever dealt with was about 500,000, and that's on Patty's property. Because she has tunnels the dragons use to go all over the world and to other worlds. And when I've done energy work out on her property, there was a couple of times that there was a little more than 500,000 dragons flying around the property. Okay, I'm back. So it may do that a little bit because I still have a bad connection where I'm at, but at least it's better than it was when I was indoors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and on Patty's property, she has some very rare dragons showing up there, and I did see a few, but most of the dragons didn't come close to us. Mostly the babies. It was all babies,
Mm-hmm.
and even that is phenomenal.
Yeah. So with our team, when Pele guided us there to assist, Jung had an image as to the outcome had the dragon energy were not being there to assist in bringing in the light, as we were saying. And I know that before we started the workshop, you said that there was another group that was there, that the energy wasn't as positive, and that the goal was to make sure that Pele received the love and is happy. And I know that when we finished the workshop, Pele was excited to come and share with us her joy. Right, John?
Yes, yes, and even the dragons were very joyous. When we were leaving, remember I snapped a picture of a dragon in the sky,
Yes.
the cloud dragon. And that's the way they kind of do the physical thing, is by materializing in something that they can actually show their whole shape in. But the dragons, even after we finished the activation, they were still willing to hang around us and do work on us, and trying to work on our dreams, making them pure, and communicating ideas to us. I believe that they picked out 5 locations that will be needing work in the future. And that's how they work. They set your path up, and they don't expect you to do it instantly, but you know that it's there and that it's going to be needed to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like to get Jung's take on his experience when he first meditated.
Yeah, so my experience, I came there about a week prior to the workshop, just to have a little mini vacation with my family. So when I got there, first day I was already connecting with Pele. She reached out to me, but I was so tired the first day that it was just tiring, and I couldn't connect. And then the next day I was able to connect and actually sit down and meditate and get more information coming through. And I was talking to her, and then she was telling me, yeah, you should have connected with me. She was so excited. She wanted to connect right away, but my body wasn't having it that first day. But she was really joyous to have us be there, and that whole time I was connecting to her. And the interesting thing is, I was usually, when I connect, I allow my higher self to connect to whoever needs to be connected to me, so I can get information or to help me, in my spiritual path. But this time around, it was just only Pele that I was connecting to throughout the whole time that I was there. And that's about like a little over 2 weeks, I guess. So, yeah. And that one time during the workshop, there was a point where I think John was already in a trance and he was coming out, and I was just being nudged. And usually that's not very normal for me, because I would go into it and then would allow myself to connect. But this time I felt like a push, but I knew I had a sense it was her. Then I kind of connect and asked, and she just came through, and it was one of the most joyous feeling that I received from her energy. I was just coming through full of laughter, excitement, exuberant, I would say, and the whole time. and she gave a lot of information about the outcome of if there weren't energies being worked in that area, the blessings that we were performing and the energies that we're holding for that space. If not, then it would have shifted the timeline, and it would have not gone into a positive timeline. Or if it didn't, it would have taken longer to get into the positive timeline. So that was a kind of take. But the whole entire time was kind of like full of joy, excitement to have us there, and then just to know that we're there and we're following our guides and we're reaching. And she only had to call out to us once, and Judy received that calling. And I remember the channel, I just went towards her, and I said, or Pele only had to call us once, and we received the information, and then we were guided and we went. So she was quite excited about that, and also that the fact that we did everything that we could to hold the energy and to bless the land and the ancestors there as well. And the time when we about to depart, there was some sadness in her that came through, and then I think the very last channel that we put out there was some lessons as well, and it has to do with love in the heart and keeping that love, holding that love, and focusing on it, and then expanding that out to others, so you can share that love, that energy, and radiate that out to others, so that way that resonance will continue to expand and hold that energy and throughout the entire planet, so for a better future outcome for humanity and Gaia. So that was my take.
Yeah, I recognize that you usually channel different people, but that whole time that you were there, Pele was determined to come through all the time and share her story. She even wants to have, I believe, Scott in the future portraying her on the light side of who she is. Isn't that right, Scott?
Yeah, she was saying stuff about her history, not portraying her very accurately, and how her actions or reactions are really just a reflection of humanity and what's happening. It wasn't all this crazy quarrels and stuff. That's kind of what I took from what was said as she was bringing information forward.
What was your take with the whole dragon activations? I know you got some message from the dragon as well, and you took a lot of dragon home with you.
What do you mean? He hasn't left yet.
I'm still here.
All of them around him.
I'm still here.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're still dealing with a roller coaster ride.
We're still dragoning.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of strange activity happening just between Melody's house and Nico's house. We had a building burn down, one of the buildings where we had just eaten, like the night before. And that's big news in Hilo. There aren't very many buildings, and that was like their big gathering place, one of their main restaurants, and it's pretty much destroyed from what I can tell.
Wow.
And then today we were in the middle of a manhunt. So we drove into town today to go shopping and check the P.O. box, and on the way back we got stopped at a roadblock, and then we were allowed to come a little further down the street because apparently there's another roadblock that there was some kind of a shooting in Kona, and the guy had come up to this end of the island and abandoned his car, and then there was also something about gunfire shots right at the gas station down the street. And helicopters have been buzzing us all day until just not long ago they stopped. But I hadn't found out what's going on in the news. But, there's always such a roller coaster of activities and things happening. and we're trying to do a lot of good. And it's just interesting to be around something crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's happening over in your area, and here yesterday we just had a hailstorm in Long Beach, and my neighbor said he hasn't seen this in 50 years that he's been living here. So basically, it hasn't been around hail in Long Beach, California. That just doesn't happen, and the whole road was just covered with hail. But it's like the rocks are pretty big, so it covered the entire street, and it looked like snow. And my whole yard and was just covered with white snow. It was just a lot of it. But interestingly, I walked outside and I just see a thick cloud right above our neighborhood, maybe like max 20 miles radius, I guess. But that's it. You look past that, you see blue skies. And then I just found that Vivian had a hailstorm right about the same time I had one too. So a lot of interesting things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Judy, you had you saw a rainbow or something, right? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I did. I when John was describing, you see this nice, beautiful rainbow appearing when there's no light. My sink, I was like, there's no light. How come I have rainbow? It was beautiful color. I took a snapshot and showed the guys.
Hey, that's great. Wow.
The big dragon showed up.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, another thing, we did a whole bunch of different blessings while we were there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, one of the tributes that we were doing was with rose quartz, which is self-love, and it strengthens the heart chakra, and moonstone. And both of those stones are love stones. They're love activator stones. And I mean, we did one when we first started. We did one at each of the volcanoes. We did one where we were swimming with the turtles, and the turtle appreciated it because he wouldn't leave us alone. He kept hanging out with us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the turmeric and essential oil one, and we also did the rose quartz and moonstone before we left. So we did a lot of blessings, which I believe Paley was really appreciative. I know Mother Earth was. So.
Yeah, John, after you left, our group was guided to another locations, and the area was very grim. And through our channeling, it really makes a difference in us bringing in the light, and it really shows. And Pele again came through. Jung channeled Pele. Jung, remember that?
Yeah. Well,
I
do remember it, but I just don't remember the context. Except besides mostly, I remember love, the message of love. But for the details, I'm kind of.
Yeah, Pele was really confirming of the respect of the ancestors, the respect of the land, and that we're walking on sacred land, that we need to show the love and the respect, and that there are energies that you cannot see with your naked eye, but when you're working with spiritual energy, you have to respect the ancestors, and especially in the sacred land, we really have to pay our respect and give love. But love is the true key to really heal all blockages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main goals of dragons. Dragons their main goal is love, not only for Gaia, but the main reason they stayed here was because they had a love for the humans. And they love giving that love. They love sharing happiness. And they give constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing at least for me, I learned that in this, like any land that has a lot of high energy, it should be respected. The ancestors, the people, and to be conscious about it. And that's kind of like a step when for this is for myself and for all those viewers who are in stepping into spirituality, is to pay attention to your body and always take it seriously, because sometimes, you know, I thought I was doing fine, but at some point I forget to be conscientious about the energies that's coming around me, and then that could have some serious ramification. So what would they say? With power comes great responsibilities. That's in the Spider-Man run, right? So it's something like that. As you open up, you're opening up more energy to love, but at the same time, it's being balanced by these other polar opposite energies. So you have to be able to discern, and that's some of the lessons that I've taken back. So it brings back a lot of humility to me, and also the seriousness of the type of job that we're doing, the type of work that we're doing, and for those who are stepping into this realm, that this is something you should take seriously. There's maybe like in California or in other states, other lands, there may not be a lot of high ancestral energy or certain sacredness, sacred land. You probably won't feel that as much. But when you enter these places like in Hawaii, it's a different game. It's a different place. The energy is really strong, and it could bless you and it can mess with you. So just a warning for all to, be respectful and, take your energy seriously. Yeah.
Well, remember, what I told you guys was that your body is your alarm system. So you really need to pay attention to every minute detail, because it could be telling you something. And then when you feel a spasm and you know that you haven't hurt your shoulder or something, you got a spasm in your shoulder, you need to ask questions. Is this something dealing with me? Is this something dealing with a friend, family member? Is this a spirit trying to talk to me? Ask the questions and see if it continues. If it continues, then that's your yes. If it stops, that's your no. And if you really start listening to your body, you hear on a different level. You feel on a different level. You'll see on a different level. You'll speak on a different level.
That's very
just because
true.
you are really in tune to your body.
Yeah. And you have to do that constantly, because I thought I was doing it, but there's certain things that, environment, certain things like that will get you, and then would take your mind away from that, and that's when you could be potentially in trouble. So always have the discipline of staying in the love, staying in the mindset of love, and also being conscientious about your body, your energy, like John said. It's very important.
Do you want to share your experience on the mountain?
Not really. I'm still kind of like taking it all in these past few days. So maybe later at some time, but I'm still processing all of it, trying to discern. So it's a very long process for me. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and that rings true to all spiritual souls who are starting, or who is somewhere in the middle of their spiritual path.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel that you are confident, you feel that you have, it's really a testament of the ego aspect as well. And always try to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's always greater power beyond what we are able to see and know. what our group learned is that we need to rely on one another. So when you're on this kind of journey, really have someone who you can trust. You can, whether it's a mentor, a teacher, or a group like our group, we're blessed to have each other to cross-check one another, because the work that we are doing require a collective consciousness. Of course, everybody is being called to do certain tasks, but do understand that when you go into these kind of work, there are challenges that will be coming and that you will be facing. And know that when the challenges come, go in a state of love and go in a state of gratitude, but also be humble with the challenges and the lesson, and then do the forgiveness practice, because it's always a lesson that allows us to grow and allow us to appreciate our blessing. I guess it's a blessing in disguise, in a sense.
Yeah, it really is, because I felt like for me personally, I came back with so much. I've opened up more. I've identified certain blockages that I need to work on, and just the feeling of, love from everyone, from John, Judy, Vivian, Melody, Scott, Ava, and Nico, and everyone else, even in Hawaii too. But there's a sense of always trying to progress, and a discipline of a practice. So you have to take it seriously. I come from the background where I'm always reading everything and trying to dabble a little so I can gain the confidence. And then I guess it could be, I would say my ego would come in to the point where, I'm like, okay, I think I got this. And I kind of forget my practices. And then I'm reminded again. So for those who are listening, it's a word of caution. Definitely, but it's not something to deter you away from walking from spirituality, because you gain so much from it, from learning from yourself and connecting to everything. You open so much. So, but there is like the cliche of saying, with power comes great responsibility. So if you're honing more power in yourself of the light and love, and then you carry more responsibility of that. So that's kind of my take on it, really, and my experience coming out of this.
So what's so beautiful about our group was that when our higher self connected us together, we recognize what our soul purpose is that we are supposed to do, and we immediately act on it. And within a short period of time frame, they have directed us to different places, and every time when we go to these places, there's always wisdom that we take away from, and it has helped us and prepared us for the next upcoming journey. And it seems like that has always been. So if you're being called on to do the work, really step up and do it, but do it with care, do it with love, and do it with responsibility. So I know that we have our next workshop coming up, but I like to take Vivian's take on the workshop, because I know in this workshop, Vivian had also acquired new wisdom as well.
Oh, I think her connection is...
Yeah.
There it is.
No, it's this. I had my mute button on. Well, for me, this workshop, it really gather us together and really integrate our energies, and we came there and we did what we need to do, and I felt like we were more connected to each other. And is the connections unstable?
No, you're good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I felt like the group is we have a stronger bond, and we have like the connection was like there, and then we're working together, working with our energy and integrating it together and learning about each other. And for me especially, I felt like I was open up. My emotion was just like a roller coaster that I just started to cry and cry, especially during the channeling. And I felt like I was open up a bit with my emotions. And but other than that, there was a highlight too, like where when we went to the beach and we swam in the water, the the sea turtle keep on coming to us. That was magical to me, and that was just one of the highlight. And yeah, that was it. I thought that there was like great workshops, and of course there are challenges, and we were being tested, but in the end, we're still together working, doing what we needed to do, and we felt this a work accomplished, and we felt the bond is stronger, and that's what it matters. Just keep on growing and learning, and do what we need to do, and keep on following what we've been guided to do. So yeah.
I think that turtle was a water spirit.
What was that, honey?
Say it again.
I think that turtle was a water spirit.
Water
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
It was.
Wasn't that funny, Ava? You and I was just talking about it, and then all of a sudden you were like,
She was like, how big is it? And I was like, I'm gonna look at the water so I can remember. And it's right there.
that was magical. I was like, wow, I get to see it, and it swam right by our feet. That was so beautiful. There's so many magical moments being on the Big Island, and throughout the whole workshop. The first night when John asked us to do the blessing with him with the turmeric and the essential oil, after we finished, the group stayed up and we saw the spaceship that was twinkling rainbow color. And then we saw a shooting star follow that. And then the following morning, we woke up to a nice, beautiful rainbow welcoming us. And it's just magic after magic just occurring and happening. And I didn't realize this, but John pointed out the area where we did our blessing, Scott. The moon circle was the dragon eye.
The dragon eye, not an egg.
Yes, not an egg. John was like, no, that's an eye. Right, John?
Yeah. Yeah, look at that picture and you'll see that it's the dragon's eye, and what you called an egg was the pupil.
Yeah, I totally see that.
Yeah. Now that you brought that up, I'm like the swirl around the what we thought was an egg. I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that looks. I mean, you can see the egg, but I'm like, that's interesting that there's a swirl. And now I'm looking at the background of this, the video capture of the dragon right above Judy's head. It kind of looks like that. Sorry, Judy, it's in the background on the live stream. You'll probably won't see it on Zoom.
So I was curious, John, did you know what kind of dragon that was?
Well, I'm thinking it was a lava dragon. And they are very, very quiet unless Pele calls them into action.
Mm.
And you really don't want them called into action because they could crack the island in half. They like to sleep. They've been known as the sleeping giants.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to have an eye out for the area, making sure nothing negative or hostile happens in the environment, especially in sacred environments like that one.
Mm-hmm.
John, you just gave me like chills when you say crack the island in half, because that's the image I got. The second day when I was there, when I connected, I never got to talk about this because I'm recalling the memories again as you're, giving me some words that actually trigger my memory. And the vision that I got, actually, she came up to me and she went something like this, and she said, "Don't talk, just watch," or something like that. And she gave me a vision, and I saw an island, and literally it just split. It cracked right in the middle.
Yep.
And lo and behold, we are doing our blessing right at the eye of that lava dragon.
Yep.
That's quite astounding. And
well, one of the things I do remember when I was communicating with Pele, because there was another group there that was causing ill intent. That's what she was talking about, was severing the island and sending them somewhere else. So, and she's all about protecting the sacred sites. And if someone is poisoned, a part of it, she will cut it off and send it somewhere else, or drown it in lava. It just depends on what her mood is. If she's feeling giving, she'll crack the island and send that part somewhere else. If she's not forgiving, she'll cover it in lava.
Yeah, there's a lot of coincidence that happen. Like coincidence, I guess maybe that's a poor choice of word, but maybe like a lot of information that John's presenting, and then information that I receive, and then just other, like our group's intuition or higher self connection. There's a lot of correlations of the information, so that's pretty amazing.
Well, you said there was a lot of confirmation too in things that were said.
Right, yeah. That's another memory that I just popped up, was that when she was done with the channeling, when the workshop was done, so basically after I did the channeling, after she came in and she connected through me, I kind of saw her walking from my left peripheral vision, and I see a background of her. She's just kind of skipping through the lava and the dried lava rocks. And as I was kind of getting that, I was kind of discussing about that. John's just like pointing, and she's like, "Oh, she's walking over there." So I was getting that visual image, and I was getting visual image of dragons behind me, because behind me, and they were just sleeping all around the lava rocks. They're just lying, bathing in the sun.
Yep, sunbathing.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing, because it's kind of like when I kind of brought that up, and John's kind of like, there she goes, and there's a dragon sleeping. I'm like, wait, I just saw that. So that was pretty amazing.
And she's not done with you yet.
Yeah, I've planned to do automatic drawing, and I was seeing if I can kind of get a more detailed picture of her. So I was actually planning to do that last night, but I got a little burned out. So I'll do that sometime this week.
Yeah, I know that she still has information that, and she likes you. She likes you a lot. And so I have a feeling that you're going to be having conversations for a while.
Yeah, I've been speaking to her pretty much every day. Yeah, every day. So that's interesting. But I'm still discerning, so my whole discernment just went back, whoosh, and I'm like, all right, discipline and daily practices, and because I felt like it was the test was a lot, and I've gained a lot of humility out of it. So that was quite a learning experience. And for those who are listening, you know, you're going to go through this, and there are tests if you're very, you know, mindful about what you do and where you go and what you're being guided. And I would say I wasn't mindful about it. So it will be harder if you're not mindful about your actions and what you do. So, you know, lesson learned, be very mindful. Or if you're stepping into the realm of spirituality, yeah, just be mindful about all your actions. Even like a little ant or mosquito that bites you. Observe your surroundings and how you feel, and talk to mosquito. So that's kind of my take. So.
Well, we're coming up to the hour, and just to let the viewers know, we have an upcoming workshop that we'll be hosting. We're being called to the Integratron, which would be a sound healing workshop to increase the vibrational energy, but also really healed blockages of the body. As we were working with the dragon energy in this workshop, everything is always being guided. Follow your intuition. What our group is being guided to do is to help those who are being called, like in this workshop. We align the spine through Scott's RadiateUp technique, where we prepare the body, remove all the blockages, and align the body to the point where the soul can integrate the mind, body, and spirit together. And then, like in this dragon activation, prior to the activation, because the energy that was coming in was so high, all of us worked on the attendee to unwind any blockages. And I was being guided to complete that dragon preparations. And that's when the activation occurred. And according to John, that was pretty high energy. Like it was like pretty strong, right, John?
Yes. Yes. I've done a number of things with various groups, but this is the first group that I've ever had a vibration that was, I'd say it was in the 3 million octaves. And that is, if you could turn that into electricity, you could run 3/4 of the world's electrical needs for about a millennium.
That's pretty high intensity. So understand that the work that our group is being called on souls, like this coming workshop, we do it through the guides of our heavens team and our spiritual guides. And if your soul is being called upon to participate and join us, do look into your schedule. It's going to be on May 18, and it's going to be in the Joshua Tree area, the Integratron. More information will be provided once we kind of finalize our workshop. But please don't forget to subscribe and hit like on our YouTube channel. And I'll give my team the last word if they want to say something.
I just wanted to say aloha from Hawaii. And as far as I know, the island's not going to crack in half soon. So for tourism purposes, the island's actually had a very hard time. So with the activity of hurricanes and those types of things in the past, and it supports the economy to visit the island. So don't be too afraid unless somebody has a message from the group that they should be. But I just wanted to say, John, it was so great to have your eyes and ears and your wisdom while we were here. I'm hoping that you're at everything we do because you've just been a pleasure and a light and just so incredible. And your work is so incredible and amazing. I learned so much about my body, mind, and spirit by being in the presence of our group, our attendees, and especially having John visiting us. So I just wanted to say mahalo, and hopefully I can find macadamia nuts and butterfly very soon for you.
Thank you. And I was actually informed that the same program that I taught to Judy can be taught to you, and I can do it, or if Judy's comfortable enough, she can do it.
It looks amazing. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Cool. My tool belt. Thank you.
Your last block for that gift has been unblocked, and the door is opened. So you should be ready to be able to do that.
Great. Again, thank you for your wisdom and insight. Anybody else? Last word before we... there it is.
I just wanted to say that I'm really happy to be in this group with all of you guys. It's been a lot.
Oh, so sweet of you. So sweet.
We love you, Ava. Thank you.
Yeah, we love you.
Mwah, love you.
And I guess,
go ahead.
10:02. So a little bit over, but yes, I want to extend my thanks to John as well for, giving us a lot of insight and also assisting us, and where, especially me, when I was being wholly tested. But thank you, John, for that. You've been such a blessing to us. Your wisdom is immense, and those who are seeking more about themselves too, please reach out to John. He is such an amazing being. He gives so much and takes so little, So please reach out to him. You got his I don't know. I'll let him give the information about his website and all in a bit. But he is an amazing clairvoyant. A reader. He connects well. And if you have an inkling of dragon in you, please reach out to him. Yeah. So anyhow, I'll pass it over to Vivian.
Yes, I would also like to say thank you, John. It was so fun having you there. You gave us so many insights and shares of stories, and it's just a lot of fun. And if there's any event that we have and you're there, definitely, if you can, join us. And since John's going to be there, you never know what's going to be showing up. He can read you like a book. So yes, and also please subscribe.
Yes, that would help us a lot, since we're starting out and we're newbies, and we're hoping to get more viewers so we can bring the awareness out, because there's so much information that we're being received. It just, it's easier just to do the live stream and get the information out instead of all these production, post-production stuff that we have to do. It takes some time, and we're all working, so please bear with us, and we thank you for tuning in to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's have John give out his informations, and definitely, like Scott was saying, the big island now, that from Pele anyways, after our group did our dragon activation and brought in the cosmic light ray energy, she felt that the energy was stabilized, and really it's a beautiful, magical island. Highly recommend going to visit and experience the beauty of Pele and of Hawaii. Don't hesitate, because it's a beautiful place to be. And I'll let John have his final word to kind of give his 2 cents about Hawaii, and then give his information how to contact him. John?
Okay, thank you. Well, first off, thank you for inviting me there. It was my first time off the continent, and I really enjoyed it. And like Yoon said, Pele is extremely happy. There's going to be a large amount of fertility going on the island because of this happiness. So this would be a great time to go and see the island, and give your love when you go, because the more you give to the island, the better the island becomes, and the happier the island becomes.
Mm-hmm.
My website is www.stonecipher.shop. It has everything ranging from all my classes to stones and jewelry that I have up for sale. It explains all about my various gifts, from being clairvoyant to doing specialty products like incense oils and salves. And I do a lot of custom work for people. I also do online or over the phone readings for people. Yeah, or you can give me a call at 541-401-0115.
John,
Huh?
can you repeat the website one more time?
www.stonecipher.shop.
Shop?
Shop. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Scott, give her my address, because I don't think I gave it to her.
Oh, the address? Your address? I'll give it to her. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, expect pomegranates.
Oh, cool. Pomegranates and lemons. One last thing is this group has a lot of wonderful adventures coming up. And the more people who join in, the better the experience will be. So please subscribe and please try to make it to any of the events that we have. The Dragons have stated repeatedly to me that there's going to be a large amount of things happening really soon. And the more people placing positive energy, love, light, happiness, and laughter into the world will improve everything and keep the balance where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. And if you're looking for fun, childlike play, join our workshop, because it's all fun and magical. There's no shortage of that.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
when you have the dragons there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're awesome.